Hey you, yes you. The odds of you not being subscribed to the channel are very high, so if you haven't already, it would mean the world if you'd subscribe if you're new and join the Woods crew to help me go full time. Hope you all enjoy this one. Woods out. As I am making this video, the Golden State Warriors are currently sitting at a 6-6 record after taking an L to the Nuggets a few days ago. I think that the Warriors have been one of the most interesting teams in the league to watch by far this year. We have already seen so many moments and flashes of greatness from this team, but we've also seen some very ugly things as well, to say the least. Today we will be diving into this Warriors team and analyzing their first 12 games, but let me just say you guys are going to want to watch this whole video because I'm also going to talk about why Andrew Wiggins and James Wiseman could lead the Warriors to dominate the league. That is, if a few things happen in their favor. Let's just start out by taking a look at the team stat sheet, which honestly makes the Warriors look pretty solid on paper. Wiggins definitely had a slow start, but has picked up his game, which has evened out his stats. Curry has also been struggling, but he is playing a very above average to say the least, just not quite MVP Curry level we were expecting, and Wiseman is looking very promising to say the least. But now let's look at the shooting stats, because I believe this reveals the Warriors' biggest issue that is holding them back from being a great team, and honestly led to many of their losses so far this year. Now obviously looking at these numbers, we can see that Curry is leading the team in takes and makes per game in general and for threes. Wiggins is next in line, shooting about 25% less shots than Curry per game, but still making very close to the same amount, which is good to say the least. And the next person that gets reasonable playing time that has taken the most shots is, wait, not Wiseman, not Pascal, it's Kelly Oubre. But that's not where the issue is for Oubre. It's in the field goal percentage, because Oubre is shooting a terrible 35% from the field and even worse 19.7% from three, which honestly is just unheard of from a player like him in today's NBA league. This is obviously news that everyone's known about though. I mean, Oubre has literally struggled from day one and has been chucking up bricks ever since he joined the Dubs, which has definitely been holding them back to say the least. But let's take an even deeper dive into these stats, because that's where things really make Kelly Oubre look bad. As we've said, at the time of this video, the Golden State Warriors are 6-6, but 3 of their 6 losses were by 10 points or less. When the Clippers and Warriors faced off for round 2, the Warriors only lost 101 to 108. The Warriors also only lost to the Pacers 95 to 104, and most recently against the Nuggets, the Warriors took the L 104 to 114. All of these games were fairly close ones to say the least, and if there were a few less errors, they would have been W's for the Warriors. Now don't get me wrong, this is just hypothetical, and I know that it is not solely Kelly Oubre's fault, but let me just show you guys something kind of funny. Kelly Oubre is shooting a terrible 19.7% from 3 on 5.5 takes per game. If Kelly Oubre just increased his shot to a reasonable 40%, which is not a ton to ask, being that he has shot 35% last year from 3, the Warriors will be getting an additional 7 points per game, which means that these 10-point losses or less are down to less than 1 bucket. And that's not even including Kelly Oubre's overall field goal percentage. Because if he increases overall percentage to 45 like his teammates Wiggins and Curry, they would have won all these games, definitely. Now I know this is all hypothetical and I 100% understand that, but it really does show how much Kelly Oubre is weighing the Warriors down as we speak. But enough of bashing Oubre for a third of this video. Let's get into why the Warriors team could succeed this year and blow past everyone's expectations, because they are definitely capable. It just comes down to a few things for the Dubs, and the main thing being consistency across the board from all Dub starters. It's no secret that the main struggle we have seen from the Warriors so far this season is consistency, by far. Especially from the players who have to be the most consistent in order for the Warriors to win, which is very bad for them to say the least. Don't get me wrong, Curry and Wiggins have been balling, but they have not been shooting at a consistent level they need to be in order to win games. If Kelly Oubre isn't going to fill the void of Klay Thompson, someone has to if they want to win, because Curry cannot go out and drop 62 points a night to keep this team winning. Andrew Wiggins has to step up and be the right-hand man to Curry and take some of the scoring burden off of him. Wiggins has averaged over 20 points per game 4 times throughout his career, and as of right now, he's averaging 17 points per game, shooting his second lowest field goal percentage ever in his career. Wiggins needs to act as the second man up. Averaging 18 points per game on mediocre shooting percentages will not allow the Warriors to make a decent playoff push or even more. In fact, I'd go as even far as saying if Wiggins can't step up even more, the Warriors might as well just tank, because there's no hope for them if Wiggins and Oubre can't live up to the high potential they have. Wiggins' strong suit is taking the ball to the rack, but he is playing soft and settling for jumpers, which is not what we want to see. As a Timberwolves fan, it hurt me to see Wiggins settling for his mid-range so much in Minnesota, because if he just took it to the rack, it could make his game so much more versatile and dominant than it is now. But it is clear that Steve Kerr is working on this with Wiggins, being that we've seen flashes of Wiggins being aggressive and driving, many more than I've seen in Minnesota in recent years. But the good thing is, Andrew Wiggins has been playing unbelievably well on the defensive end due to his freak athletic build we've been talking about since he was drafted. Taking a massive jump on the offensive end would only take the team to the next level and help them win in a huge way, to say the least. I thought it was definitely noteworthy to include what Steve Kerr had to say about Wiggins' defense improvement after a recent practice. So here's what he had to say about his expectations for Andrew Wiggins' defense this season and for all his potential years with the Warriors. Quote, "We made it a priority this offseason. We talked about potentially being an all-defensive team player," Kerr said. "Knowing the way our team is structured, we need him to do what Andre did for us for years, what Klay has done for over the years. Take on the other team's best player and use your strength and athleticism and length to try to make an impact." And I think he's responded very well to that request. Now, although it is good that the Warriors organization has made defense a priority for Wiggins, what makes it even better is the fact that Wiggins made the same goal for himself on his own. Kevin Looney told reporters earlier this week that Wiggins himself has those same expectations, and through 12 games for the Warriors, the 25-year-old seems to have done what he can do to manifest it. Wiggins currently ranks 7th among NBA players for blocks per game, 1.8 per game, and set a career high of 5 rejections in the Warriors' loss to the Pacers earlier this week. He has also been one of the NBA's toughest players to score on in 2020-2021 season. There have been 138 shots taken on Wiggins so far this year, and only 52 of them have dropped in, which is very good to say the least, and definitely better than you guys might think. In fact, this is the 4th best in the NBA, only behind LeBron, Andre Drummond, and Anthony Davis, who are some of the hardest players to score on in the league, to say the least. Wiggins didn't exactly have the best reputation as a defender when he first got to the Warriors last season, but Stephen Kerr believes that this has a lot more to do with where he played than his actual on-court production. Quote, "I'm not sure he didn't play good defense in Minnesota. It's just that no one noticed," Kerr said. The fact is, he's here now, and this team gets a lot more publicity. We're on TV a lot more often, so people are now recognizing some of the statistical accomplishments that Andrew has put forth here in the early going of this season in terms of shot challenges and block shots. It's clear that Steve Kerr thinks highly of Wiggins, and we've already seen him defend stars like Giannis, Kevin Durant, and Kawhi Leonard with great success, and he had the contest on Pascal Siakam's game-winning shot attempt in the Warriors win over the Toronto Raptors earlier this season. I know that I included Wiggins and Wiseman in this title, but honestly, I really wanted to go more in depth with Wiggins because of the fact that if he steps up, the team more than likely will too. And as well as the fact that James Wiseman has been flat out delivering everything we could have wanted and expected, and then some. I already made a video last week on James Wiseman, so feel free to check that one out above if you want to see a super in-depth dive, but my man has been balling out and has top 5 center potential, to say the least. In fact, I said it in one of my last videos, I believe that James Wiseman could become not only the best, but the most versatile big in the league. I basically said that he's a Karl Anthony Towns on steroids because of the fact that he can actually defend and run the break very smoothly. It's clear that Wiseman is ready to help the Warriors make a playoff push. The question is, are Wiggins and Kelly Oubre going to step up or cause the team to tank? To say the least, I think that Wiggs can do it easily, especially now that he's in an even better organization with a winning culture. And although I do think that the word culture is often overused in the NBA today, don't lie, the Warriors are just one of the teams that is just out to win and nothing less. My eyes are on Kelly Oubre right now because if my man just steps up and fills Klay's shoes a tiny bit, the Dubs will win. But right now, he's literally holding them back with his shooting percentages. It will be very interesting to see what the Warriors do this season, being that they could even make a trade to help them not fall off even more. It's clear that Kelly Oubre was not the best option, so maybe they won't want to take another chance, but who knows, the NBA is a crazy league. I want to hear from you guys down below. What do you think the Warriors record will be by the end of the season, and who do you think will deliver some game-changing results to the Warriors, besides the obvious James Wiseman and Steph Curry? As a Wolves fan, I really do hope that Andrew Wiggins can take that all-star leap we've all been waiting for, but I think that this is his last year to do it before finally being labeled as an average player. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this video, it would be literally clutch if you could subscribe if you're new, enjoy the Woods crew, as well as leaving a like down below. That's legit all it takes for me to go full time. But regardless, I appreciate all you guys still watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Woods out.